Welcome to another episode of the Camilita podcast. This is where you learn to live like a champion. On today's episode, I want to talk about 6 things financially free women do differently. So, welcome to this episode. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and please do leave a review if you love my podcast. And also subscribe on YouTube so you can see the entire video and send me a quick message. I'd love to hear from you on any of the episodes that you are listening to, wherever you're listening to your podcast. But I want to talk about today's 6 things financially free women do differently. And for a lot of women, some women, I should say, they depend on their husbands or their spouse or whoever to look after their financial freedom. But there's one thing in which I have learned over the years is that we have got to do and take care of our own financial freedom, regardless of what's happening. But these are the 6 things that financially free women do consistently. They focus on consistency rather than just as and when they feel to do it. And a lot more women over the years, a lot more women across the world are taking charge of their financial freedom. They are investing in property, they're creating digital products, they're creating multi-million pound brands, multi-billion dollar brands. Women are really taking charge, but this is what they do differently. If you want to be successful, this is what we do. This is what you need to do differently. Number one, you got to know your numbers because in business, you've got to know your numbers. You've got to check your expenses, what you spend money on, what you do constantly, not when you feel like it, but all the time. You got to know your numbers of your expenses. You got to know your numbers of your asset column versus your liability column. Now, that is crucially important. I teach my clients, make sure that every month you are increasing your asset column and diminishing your liability column. This is crucially important if you truly want to be financially free. Okay. The next one, and I think this is something I'll dive into a little bit. They invest before they spend. You know, a lot of people, they get paid or they have an investment and they just go out shopping and they go out investing and buying this and buying that and whatever, buying in themselves. But financially free women invest in income generating assets and they allow the assets to then buy their luxuries. So for myself, if I want to buy a nice car or I want to buy jewelry or I want to buy this, I want to buy that, I wait. I know that's not a word a lot of people want to hear, but I wait and buy it from the assets. So for instance, I would buy a rental property or another one or another one, another one, and then I would allow the rental income from that property to then help pay for a luxury item. At the same as if I were to create some digital products and selling digital products, and I've got loads of digital products on Camilita Shop, I would then allow the sale of the digital products to buy what I need. So I would make a list of what some of the things that I need. And even if I'm going out, I'm really clear. I am not just going to the shops with an open-ended checkbook or with an open-ended list. I am very clear. I'm going to the shops to buy X, Y, and Z. I'm very clear. Whether it's shopping, whether it's for clothes, whether it's for whatever, I have a list. And my husband says I have a list for the list. The reason for that, it is because I want to make sure that I'm not spending more or I'm not spending out of income, but I'm spending from the investments that generate residual income. Do you understand what I mean? So that's crucially important. So you've got to have the willpower to say no to things if you want to be financially free. Because financial freedom is when your assets are looking after your liabilities or when your residual income is paying for your luxuries. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, they charge what they are worth. And they raise the prices before they think they could raise the prices. There are so many women that feel very uncomfortable if they're charging more or if they're charging, more than for instance, their competitors. They think, oh, they're going to go with this one or they're going to go with that one. For me, I know my value and my worth. And I'm going to give you a little tip, which I teach my clients, how you could learn your value and your worth. If you look at the last 20, 30 years of your life, especially if you've got degrees or, you've got all of that going on, look at how much you've spent to be where you are today. Okay? Look at it. Look at how much you spent actually. Look at how much you spent. Look at how much you've been through. Some of my clients will say, well, Camilita, I've just started doing this and I can't charge that. I'm like, well, how long have you actually been offering that to perhaps people for free? And they will say, well, I've been doing that for years. I'm like, there you are. Because who you are is not where you are, and where you are is not who you are. Your focus is on who you are, not on where you are. So you've got to charge your value and you've got to charge your worth. And remember, what you're charging for is value. There's a difference between perceived value rather than actual value. So make sure that you are charging the value of what you gave or the value the client or how you're going to solve their problem or serve their need rather than think of the time you're going to spend with them or the price or all of that. Think of what they're going to get as a result of being with you. Number four, successfully financially free women, they have a network. You know, we hear the network is your network, where we all we know the network is network. Yeah, that way around. Okay. We hear that all the time. The size and quality of your network determines your net worth. So if you truly want to be financially free, you need to be around people who are financially free, freer, I would say, than yourself. People who are going places, people who are investing, people who are creating brands or products, or people who have connections they can connect you with. You need to be doing that if you want to be financially free. You do not want to be around people who are going to be dragging you down because you have a new idea and you're trying to launch something new or you're trying to do something new. You're not going to be around people like that. You're going to choose who you're around constantly. And you're going to build those networks. Okay? You're going to build those networks and not places where you're too comfortable. You kind of need to be in places where you're uncomfortable because a lot of people are richer or more they have more knowledge they can share with you. That's the kind of rooms you want to be in if you want to become successfully and financially free. Number five, successful women, financially free women, they own assets. I love that they own assets, whether it's property, whether it's investments, whether it's digital products or information products. They own assets, and assets will give you income. And assets are there long term. I teach my clients about building your asset column rather than your liability column because your assets is what is going to look after you again and again and again. For so many people, and I want to give you a little tip, but I teach my clients to do. And if you want to learn more about this, reach out to me. I'll tell you a little bit more yourself. Go to camilita.com and click on coaching, and I'll tell you a little bit more. I teach my clients, okay, to percentage out their income. Everything that you have coming through the door, you percentage out that income. The reason you percentage is because you know exactly what's going where when it comes. Some is going to go for investment, some is going to go for savings, some you can give to your church or your charity, some it is going to buy digital products, some it is going to invest in gold or diamonds or jewelry or something is going to do in property, is going to invest. And then you take that out first and then you invest the rest. So whatever the rest is, you invest that rest into your home, you pay your bills, and you do whatever. Not the other way around. What people do wrong, and a lot of women do wrong, they pay all the bills, look after all the kids, do everything, and then they're like, we have nothing left. Well, if you want to truly become financially free, you have got to pay your expenses last, and you got to pay yourself first by investing in income generating assets. You want to learn more about that, go to camilita.com, click on coaching, and I'll tell you a little bit more. And then the last one, this financially free women, they invest in themselves, in education, like every single week, every month, every year. They keep diving into learning more about business or about systems or about just dealing with clients or connections. I learn every single week. I learn we learn every day. But I purpose in my calendar, and I have the AI remind me in my calendar, you've got to learn X, Y, and Z. So I put it in the calendar and I tell the AI, I want you to remind me of this because I want to learn to better my best. I want to learn all the AI systems that I need. I want to learn what's new in property. I want to learn what's new in the law. I want to learn because you've got to keep ahead and you've got to keep abreast with what's going on. So it's crucially important that you keep learning, you keep investing in your mind, keep investing in yourself. Get a coach. I coach clients across the globe. Get a coach. I've had a coach. And I have coaches that I tap into right now for either property or for podcasting or for investments. Even my accountant is my coach because he keeps me in line. Don't do this. So we all need that. We all need that opportunity to learn. And this is why women, this is how you can differentiate yourself from other women. This is how you can become financially free by following those few steps, those 6 steps. So let me ask a question. Which one of those, or more than one, do you think you need to learn the most. Because if you do, you need to start learning it now. You could literally get financially free or become financially free in 12 to 18 months if you truly are focused and just committed to getting that done. I know because I've done it myself. When I did it and I focused on all of this, my yearly income became my monthly income. So I know it works. Okay. If you found this information helpful, do not forget to subscribe, listen to more of it on YouTube, connect with me, go to my website, tell me something, send me a message, and more importantly, share this with someone who need to hear about financial freedom. The reason I'm passionate about this is because I grew up very poor. Some of you know my story. You know my story. I grew up very poor. And so money was always a challenge. It was always a problem. And I vowed to become financially free, regardless of what I'm going through, regardless of what's happening. So I want to encourage you. If I could do it, I know you could do it too. But you've got to take the step. You've got to dive into those 6 areas. Share this with everyone, with people that you know who need it right now, and send me a message and tell me a little bit more. I'd love to hear you again on the Camilita podcast. I'm looking forward to receiving a message from you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the other side. All right. God bless. I'll see you soon here on the Camilita podcast. And you know, when you get it done, I will see you at the top.